And I love sharing about cool things that are going on in our neighborhood. So introduce yourself and give me a little bit of backstory about you.
Good morning. My name is Anna Vance. I am a nurse practitioner here locally in town at the University of Florida First Coast Child Protection Team in Daytona Beach.
And what does that mean in English? That's a lot of stuff that people are going, break that down, girlfriend.
So we are run by the University of Florida, and our goal is to serve the community. We specifically serve law enforcement and the Department of Children and Families.
I love that.
In their investigations of child abuse and neglect.
I don't love that part, but I do love that there's an organization that helps, you know, because one of my grandchildren is a sheriff deputy. And I have friends that have a ministry that help when the kids are taken in the middle of the night to make sure they have clean underwear and jammies. Because, you know, when they get, isn't it weird that it's always in the middle of the night, it seems like?
Yes.
And, you know, those kids have went through so much. And just new underwear alone, you know, it's just amazing. So what do you do with that? I mean, like, do you do the physicals, or what do you do to help the children?
Yeah. So as a nurse practitioner, my role is really the medical aspect, although my office does many different things. We have trained forensic interviewers that actually talk to the kids in a way that's very child-friendly and child-led, and that is an interview that stands up in court for their cases. So law enforcement and the Department of Children and Families will refer to us for those services. Specifically, though, I do all the medical stuff. I do head-to-toe assessments on children. I collect forensic evidence. If there's any DNA evidence for some of their cases, I collect that as well.
Like a CIA person. So that's cool, too.
Not quite as cool as that, but
hey, it sounded really good. But those are all important things, aren't they, to build the case to protect the child?
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's not as scary as it seems. We try to make it very child-friendly. So our office is, you know, we're all trained to talk to kids, and there's just different ways that we do that to make them more comfortable as well.
And I totally believe that, because I've been in a situation. I'm a wraparound. I don't know if you know what that is, but a wraparound is somebody that, I'm not a foster mom or anything, but several of my friends are. And they'll call me and say, Shelley, we've got a child coming, and I do go buy the underwear or the pajamas or the peanut butter and jelly, whatever needs to be bought, because they're in a quick moment. Yeah. They've got to jump in right then. And a lot of times that child's going through a lot of drama. And so they might be taking them to appointments, like to go see you and different things, and all of a sudden everything's just going crazy.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's not the kid's fault at all.
Absolutely.
And so do you deal with all ages up to 18? Is that what you deal with?
Yes, we see children under 18. It can be as new as a newborn baby, all the way up to 18, whatever comes up, whatever we need. We do see children for medical neglect. So some of our chronic children with a lot of medical issues, if families are maybe having a hard time getting them to their appointments, or maybe have the resources that they need, we kind of look into those cases and see how we can come alongside the family, come alongside DCF and help them, whether that's transportation to their appointments or maybe a caseworker. We work together with those community resources to get them what they need. And then the other aspect of that is the abuse and neglect of children. So if there are children that are being sexually abused, we do see children that have been trafficked, and it is very common here. Yeah. People don't think it happens.
Number 3, aren't we, like in the nation or something? And that really bothered me. I have all these grandchildren, and it really stressed me out. But it's because of our location, they say, because we're by the water and stuff, they say, and because we're a transit town. And I don't mean that weird, but Florida's such a great place. Everybody comes and goes so much.
Absolutely.
Do you know, like, as people that are listening right now, how could we inform a listener to help a child? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Biggest thing is, if you see something, say something. You know, that time in life when it was mind your own business, you know, don't bother other parents. If you see something, you know, their children are their business. No, if you see something, definitely call that abuse hotline. You can find the phone number. You can make a report online just by Googling the Florida abuse hotline, and just allow, you know, the people that are trained to do that investigation kind of step in and just see what's going on. Protection of children is so important.
Well, even I was turned in one time for a false reason, because my daughter had a medical condition, and it looked like it was an abusive relationship, okay, the item she had. And I was very happy that they came to my house.
Yeah.
I was. And I know that sounds funny, but I'd rather you call and have them come to the house and make sure that my child was okay than to not call and something serious could have been happening.
Absolutely. Somebody cared enough about your kid.
Right. And that's the thing I like to get out there is don't be afraid to make the call. You don't have to give your name or nothing. You know, it's anonymous and it could change a life. It could save a life.
Absolutely.
That much difference.
Absolutely.
So how long have you been doing this?
About 2.5 years.
And what made you do this? I know a little bit because we were just talking, but how did you end up in the situation that you're at doing this? Because it's so special.
Oh, man. It was definitely the Lord's guidance and leading in my life. So I actually visited a church here locally in Ormond Beach for one of their young adults nights. And we were having a prayer group, and I asked, you know, I really wanted God to lead me to something that would be meaningful and something where I felt like I was a part of a big picture. And man, did he do that.
Don't you love it when he does that? I mean, it's a but God moment.
Absolutely. So I shared my prayer request, and then one of the pastors that was in the circle with us passed my name along to another one of the pastors on staff. And his wife ended up calling me about a week later and told me about the position. She's another nurse practitioner that works with me now.
How neat.
And it was just such a cool thing. And she said, you know, this is probably something you should pray about because it is a difficult thing to do. I said, no, I don't need to pray about this one. This is something that God wants me to do.
Well, when he calls you to do it, no matter what it is, doesn't he figure it out way ahead of time? And if we overanalyze it, we mess it up.
For sure. There are some things that you just got to go with the leading. Yeah, absolutely.
So now do you get to go to the university and go to classes and train and stuff, or do they come here? How does that work out?
We do a few different training opportunities. Not necessarily through the university, but through some of our partners like ABSAC, American Pediatric Society of Abuse and Neglect of Children. Sorry, I probably butchered that.
I always get the PTSD
when I'm put on the spot. We have some training opportunities that we go to. They're around the country, so that's really cool to get involved with other people that are doing the same thing and see how other organizations are doing it as well.
Because I bet it's constantly changing.
Yes.
And I know that seems weird that it's constantly changing, but I'm sure, like, I watch a lot of memes and little videos and stuff and reels, and now there's that sign language that you do, like if you're being trafficked or whatever. And I think that's so cool that with the social media, we're getting things out there, and so do kids have any signs or any, I mean, like, how do you know? I guess that's you know what I'm saying? I mean, how does one even start that conversation?
I think our number one perpetrators of abuse or neglect are people that are close to the child. So not necessarily strangers. That's kind of a misconception that I think a lot of people think, don't let your kid
my mind because I did not know that.
around strangers. But it really is, direct caregivers, people that have close contact with the child. And so really, I mean, asking your child questions about, teaching them about their private areas, teaching them that nobody should be seeing or touching those areas. Just having open dialogue and asking those hard questions can really save you from one of your worst nightmares.
And also having a safe word, I think, is very important. We always had a safe word when the kids were younger. And that wasn't a time like there is now, and but I think that's important because somebody could come up to the school or to the church activity or whatever and say, my mom sent you, and you know them, but you don't know them. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So I think a safe word is very important.
Absolutely. That's a good one.
I also, I like these parents that have these little tags on their kids and stuff. I have one on my bike, an air tag, because what happens if something happens to me while I'm riding my bike? And nowadays they put them in shoes and they do these cool different things, and I think some people go, isn't that a little much? I don't really think it is a little much.
Not in today's world, no.
No, they're our precious cargo, and we really need to make sure they're safe, huh?
Absolutely.
So why are we here today, though? You've got something that's close to your heart, so tell us about that.
So last year for my birthday, I thought, what could I do that would be, I have everything I need. What could I do that would be something special for this organization that I'm so passionate about? And I came up with the idea to collect blankets. Just don't bring me a present. Let's just collect some blankets for these kids. And what the blankets are used for is when they come to our office and we're doing a specific type of exam, we do take their clothes that's sent off for evidence. And so we give them a fresh pair of clothes and a blanket while we do the exam. And so instead of having a white hospital blanket that's scratchy and and it reminds them of a hospital, I think, why not do something fuzzy and comfortable and child friendly? So we started collecting these little throw blankets.
That's so cool, because as an adult, don't we all have a blanket? I mean, I have my favorite blanket while I'm watching TV. So what are you looking for?
So we are collecting throw blankets for the children.
You're looking for.
Oh, she just brought me. Oh my goodness!
Here's a whole bag.
Oh, thank you, Shelly. She just brought me a whole bunch of throw blankets.
Right ones?
Yes, these are perfect.
I was in the store feeling all the blankets, because and I thought, and I prayed over them all. So each one has been prayed over. It's that easy, isn't it?
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. But see, I like to be a visual person, and I like to actually participate in all things. And it was easy as that, is going to a store, finding a soft blanket and praying over it. And when you're praying over it, you don't know who you're praying for, but God has put you with that blanket. Mm-hmm. Isn't that neat how God does that?
He does do that. Yep.
And so do you just have a whole big bin, or how do we get you blankets, or how many blankets do you go through? Is it really a big, I don't even know how many children come through here. You know what I'm saying? So in my mind, I'm over analyzing and overthinking and doing all these numbers, but break it down for us.
So we are actually a satellite of a larger office up in Jacksonville, but our office here in Daytona serves Putnam, Flagler, St. John's, and Volusia counties. So we see children all over the place. Yes. So in our Daytona office right here on Ridgewood Avenue, we have a bookshelf that we kind of store all the blankets. Although I think now I'm probably going to need to get another bookshelf.
But that's a good problem.
Yes.
That's a good problem.
Absolutely.
And so when they come in and you just hand them this blanket, how does their mannerism change? Because I know as me and my favorite blanket,
yes,
I know how it changes. So walk me through a child.
Absolutely. So a lot of times, kids don't like going to the doctor's office. So as they're walking back,
let's get real. We all have that white coat syndrome. Yeah, it's real.
So as they're walking back to the exam room, they're pretty nervous, and we do our best to talk to them and kind of prepare them for what that's going to be like. But then when they walk in that room and see that fuzzy blanket, a lot of, especially the little ones, are just running right over to it and are just so excited. And I tell them, this is a blanket that somebody cared enough about you to get this for you special, and this is going to be your blanket for the exam, and you're going to be able to take it home with you too. And especially for some of those kids that are going into care after, you talked about foster care a little bit, I do give blankets to them as well, just because it's a comfort thing, and it's something that they can bring with them and hold on to,
and knowing it's theirs, because they don't usually have one of their family members with them at this point. They probably have a DCF worker or a police officer with them at this point, right?
Absolutely.
So already they're scared and in an uncomfortable zone, and then they're going to have more uncomfortableness, and that blanket is life-changing.
Absolutely.
So how could we get you more blankets?
Yeah, so there's a couple ways that you can do that. We're going to have a bin here at the radio station. You can bring it by here. Also, you can always drop it off at the Child Protection Team office. The address is 148 South Ridgewood Avenue, right here in Daytona Beach. You'll find us right next to the Wawa. And then you can also call me and leave me a message or text, and we can get you, to the right spot to be able to get those
and we
to
want
us.
New blankets.
Yes, new blankets.
And is there a certain size? See, I didn't know the sizes or anything like that. So do you even need baby blankets? I didn't see. I know this is really naive, but I did not think about a newborn or anything, but you probably need some new baby blankets too, don't you?
Baby blankets are great. We do see a lot of teenagers. Okay. So,
mine
throw
are
blankets.
Size. That's the size I was looking at, because I thought about young girls that at the I thought about the trafficking.
Yep, absolutely. So, teenage girls, teenage boys, we see every age. So having a variety is definitely helpful. But, just things that, your kids, whatever your kids are into, whether it's Paw Patrol or, princesses or mermaids, whatever you see that kind of brings a smile to your face.
And I'm glad that you said boys. We don't think about the boys, do we? Mm-mm. Why did we not think about boys?
I don't know.
I think it's stigmatism that, it's the guy that's doing it, when it's not that way at all.
Mm-mm. No.
And so there's boys that come through, isn't there?
1 in 6. Yeah, 1 in 6 children. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So do you have any of the statistics that are going on in this area right now? 1 in 6 boys, but how many children right now in this area are just being abused and affected by it?
I don't have a current statistic to share with you, but we we get hundreds of thousands of abuse hotline calls into the hotline, and those get dispersed out through all the counties in Florida. And I go through every single one of those abuse reports every single day and decide what needs to be seen by us at CPT. And then from there, DCF is involved, or law enforcement, whatever the case is. They have different systems for how they handle it. But it is very common, more common than we think. And, especially children that are not necessarily in the community, that is a definite risk factor.
And what do you mean by not necessarily in the community?
Maybe they're not in sports. They're not out in the community. They're not at the park. They're not, they're kind of being taken away from society where other people might have eyes on them. So we're big proponents to get your children involved in the community, get in a church, get in sports, whatever that is.
It was always a requirement at my house. I think that's a weird requirement, but you had to be in an activity because I really thought that was important.
Absolutely.
That you're interacting with people that just aren't at school.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And Vacation Bible School, I always thought that was so important.
Yes,
Even if it's 1 week a year, that 1 week is life-changing. Mm-hmm. And there's so many wonderful free activities out there. And when I was younger, I know I'm way older than you, but we actually went outside and rode our bikes and stuff. Mm-hmm. And nowadays, you don't see kids out playing and stuff. Mm-hmm. So that must make it harder too for you guys to get help to kids.
Yes, I mean, we definitely see a downfall in abuse hotline reports during the summertime when teachers are our number one reporters.
I know, aren't they amazing?
They are amazing. So we definitely see a kind of a fall in the calls that are coming in during those times because kids aren't being seen, by the public. So just, keep your eyes open, listen to kids, believe your kid. If they tell you something's going on, believe them, take it seriously, and, make that call.
I totally agree with that. But we know sometimes we just blow them off. Mm-hmm. Or is that their imagination, or is that something? But if you do see, like I said, what was the big deal? Somebody coming to my house and asking me 20 questions. It was not a big deal because if you're innocent, what's the big deal?
Exactly.
And if there is something going on, that's your child or your nephew or your niece or whatever, and we need to get them help.
Yeah, and we try to make it a blessing for families regardless of what the reason is, So there might be something that your family needs, whether that's...
love that.
Any resource in the community. So the DCF is really a resource for us. CPT is a resource. Law enforcement is a resource. And they know about things going on, whether that's through different churches or through different organizations to get families what they need,
I love that you said that because I know when Tim and I got new beds, we had 2 extra long memory foam mattresses, and I wasn't going to just put them to the road. There was nothing wrong with them. We had just changed to the number beds or whatever. And I got involved with a group of people that was on a list that said, if you have a bed, you put it out there. Mm-hmm. And the nicest family came, and they were able to get kids because of my beds. You know what I'm saying? That was something they were missing and able to become a foster parent.
Absolutely.
And they came to my house, and you would think it was Christmas on steroids. They were so excited. And I was like, life-changing for me.
Yes.
Can you imagine what it was for them?
Yes.
Because twin beds are huge. And people don't realize sometimes when you do get called by DCF, and I just found out this statistic recently, if, say, you're a family and you're in a small place, but not everybody doesn't have a mattress, they can get removed because of that. I never realized that. Mm-hmm. And it seems like a simple thing, but it's not a simple thing, is it?
No, it's not.
And so, and I love it that people. So, can you give a hotline number? Do you have that hotline number?
I can look it up. You can actually go onto Google and type it in.
And what would we be typing in if we're a neighbor, a teacher, a nosy buddy, or whoever you are that would like to make that phone call? Who would we be calling?
So you're actually looking for the Florida Abuse Hotline, and there is a website that you can go on and type in a report anonymously, or you can actually call the number. And the abuse hotline number is 800-422-4453.
And it's that easy to make that. And it's 24 hours a day, right?
Yes, 24 hours a day. There's somebody there to talk to you.
Now, how does that work when they get a child in the middle of the night? Are you guys open 24 hours a day?
We are on call 24 hours a day.
See, I didn't know that. I was like, wow, okay, so you are.
Yep, so I'll go out if there's a child that needs an emergent medical exam or emergent interview for us to get the kids safe, for us to collect DNA evidence. We do go out in the middle of the night and see the child.
Wow.
That's a big time when I'm giving out these blankets as well.
I was thinking the same thing that you were saying. Well, thank you for doing that. So the DCF calls you, or a police officer says we have a situation, and you arrive, huh?
Yes, we arrive there and see the kid. And if it's in the middle of the night, sometimes kids aren't really too apt to talk in the middle of the night, so we might reschedule the interview for daytime after we get a nap in.
But, hey, we all need a nap in, don't we? But no, I love that you're willing to do that, because, there's some services out there that are 8 to 5, and you're like, life doesn't happen 8 to 5, does it?
No.
And some of those cries for help happen in the middle of the night. So what all can people do besides blankets? Is that basically, and be eyes in our neighborhood?
Eyes in the community, yes. Prayers. Prayers, the most powerful thing you could possibly do is pray for these kids, pray for their protection, for their future, for their freedom. This is part of God's plan, how he's using, just normal people like us to make a difference. And so be praying for our team that's doing this work.
Because you guys see some hard stuff.
We do.
You see some hard stuff. And I pray for you, because, man, I know you see some hard stuff.
Thank you.
Trafficking is huge right now.
Yes.
Huge. And is there a targeted age for trafficking? I know that sounds weird when I ask that question, but I don't know how to word it. Is there an age more seem to be targeted, or girls or boys, or kind of what's going on with that?
It's all ages that's happening. All ages, girls and boys.
Like little people?
Little people, infant babies. Yes.
Oh, my goodness. See, I always think that it's when they get their phones. Well, and that's dangerous. Another thing. You need to pay attention with their phones and those games they play, huh? Because somebody will say, oh, I'm so-and-so, I want to play the game with you.
Absolutely.
See, we didn't have that. But I know when we were younger, each generation had something that was bad. So I'm not cutting down whatever generation you're in and whatever you're having, but we do need to be the eyes and the ears of the community.
Absolutely. Those phones are the internet's access to your child. Not necessarily your child's access to the internet, but people out in the world have access to your kid. And so it's really important. There's a lot of resources out there to kind of put parental locks. There's lots of training things that you can use to figure out what's safe and what isn't. And just make sure you're talking to your kid, because they're, getting introduced to things at school that, their friends are doing, and it's important that you have that first conversation before somebody else does.
One of the things I'd love to do with my granddaughters, the older ones, the teenager ones, I love to say, what was the best part of today?
Yes.
And then when we go shopping or something, I like to do different challenges with them. I made them really mad recently, and that's okay, because at the end of the time, they love me. They think you just swipe a card for everything, that everything's just a card. So we were going to go shopping, and I gave them cash envelopes. And I made them have to think, talk, and make decisions, and figure out the change. Well, for the first hour, I thought we weren't all going to make it out of there alive. Well, because it was uncomfortable for them to have to talk, uncomfortable for them to have to figure out the money, the change. And by the end, my one granddaughter that was, little struggle about it, she thanked me. Aww. I said, what did we learn today? And I said, you learned to have a voice.
Yes.
And that's, and that's the thing. I think that our kids think they don't have a voice, that their voice doesn't matter. Even if it's not what I want to hear, they have a voice.
Absolutely.
And
that was a good lesson.
And so listen to that voice, And one of the granddaughters got in the car one day, and she thought she's being cool. They really don't get radio, and that's okay. So she was putting her music in my radio, which cracks me up. How did you think it was getting around the car? But anyways, so she goes, Nanny, do you know this song? Yes, I know that one. Nanny, do you know this? Yes, I play that one on the radio station. I said, you better be listening, right?
Did she listen to Forrest Frank?
Yes, of course. And I love that movement right now. There is a movement right now with Forrest.
Absolutely.
And the dancing and all that. I am all for it. So then she said church clap. I did not know church clap.
Oh, that's an old one.
Right, and I didn't know it. So she started doing that. But now she sends me music. And it's because a door opened. See, I allowed her to show me her way. I wasn't just, it's my way or the highway. And then I knew a couple things, which was really shocking. And then it opened a conversation. Yes. And then the other one was here the other day, and she says, Nanny, can I start sending you music?
Aww.
So they just want to be listened to.
Yes.
They just want to have a voice. And yes, you're busy. Yes, you're tired. Your day was hard. Yes, you got to get dinner and to clean clothes and all those things. But when you change it from, to what was special about today or what was important about today, you change how you word it, I think it opens them up for a new thing. Just like with the music that day. She was trying to outstump me. You know what I'm saying? And then she finally did. But it was neat because it was a challenge back and forth, and we made it like fun.
Yeah.
And you can do that with your children, can't you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There is no replacement for family, that time with them. And, you asking those open-ended questions, that's a big thing that we talk about at CPT, is just asking kids open-ended questions, not yes or no answers,
right.
And really get them talking and opening up to you. And you're going to find out things, and they're going to share things with you, especially if you respond non-judgmentally and actually listen and, take everything they say seriously.
And I think it's really important that we give them that voice, especially as they get older. I know when they're little, it's hard, and maybe you don't understand that language or whatever. But when they start getting preteens and teens, and they're wanting to drive, they're wanting to have the phone, they're wanting to go with their friends to a movie, we need to have them prepared. So when those weird things happen, you need to be vigilant. When you're walking to the football field or when you're going to the restroom, have your eyes open. Don't have it buried in the phone. And I'm sure that you have all that training, and I'm sure that those are things that help you. But I bet you're just amazing at it.
Oh, thank you.
Because you're so sweet.
Oh, thank you.
And that makes a big difference. Having that beautiful smile and being kind, they open up to kind and beautiful smiles, don't they? More than just, come on.
Definitely don't want to have a sourpuss, that's for sure.
Right. So tell us again how we can help you with it. I'm so excited about the blankets. Now I'm even more excited. I want to go shopping again. So tell us again how we can get them to you. Sure. And is it an ongoing thing?
Yes, ongoing. This has been going on since I'm going to give my age. I'm 30, but it's been going on since my 29th birthday. That was a big one for me. So you can actually bring them directly to the radio station here. We'll have a bin here set up. You can drop them off here with Shelly, or you can come to my office, the Child Protection Team. We're located at 148 South Ridgewood Avenue in Daytona Beach, right next to the Wawa, and you can drop them off there with us, or you can give me a call and just leave me a message, and if there's another way that I can get you connected with either our Amazon wish list or another time to drop them off, my phone number is going to be available for you.
You say it.
386-627-5502.
And I was thinking, as I have a drop box by the door that says Amazon and stuff, but it's a crate. It triggers a camera. So if I'm not here, you can just put the blankets in there, and then I will get them to you. So like if we're not open when you come by, no big deal. Just put them in the drop box, and I will get them to you. But it's so important as you're out. We're starting the holiday season, and we're starting to look for those great deals and stuff. Well, if you see a blanket, and I know one thing, my grandkids are tall, 1'6'7", 1'6'5". So I found at Target a blanket that was king size. Okay?
Amazing.
I mean, Black Friday, king size. I think I bought every one they had because we have tall people in our family. And it's so funny that everybody got one, and it's been like the best thing ever. Yes. Hey, we'll take a couple of those too. Yes. So if you're out Black Friday shopping or whatever, grab an extra blanket and give the gift of love.
Absolutely.
To some little child that is going through the worst time of their life. Wrap them in love. It's that we'll call them love blankets.
Yes. Let's say a prayer over them. Yeah, that's just so, just so exciting for me, and seeing how God has just blessed this opportunity and given me this chance to talk with you.
Well, I'm blessed. I saw it on Facebook, and your sister knows one of my daughters, and so she put it up, and immediately we were at the Crime Stoppers event, actually. And so I said, well, send them a message. And then my daughter's like, Mom, you're so cute. Whenever you find out about anything, but one person's life can be changed from today. And that's important. Absolutely. So would you like to pray over these children before we go?
I would love to.
Thank you.
Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this opportunity to be with Shelly and all these listeners. God, thank you for the work that you already have started with the Child Protection Team long before me, the people that you've used to change these children's lives. God, I pray that your plan for these blankets, God, would come to fruition, that the prayers and the love and the just generosity of this community would be palpable for these children, that they would know that there are people in their corner, Lord, when nobody else is listening to them, when they feel alone and scared, God, that you are you are a God who loves them and you have a plan for them, God. Let them be set into freedom, into their purpose, and in a relationship with you, God. I pray that this would be just the gospel in action. And just thank you for this opportunity. I pray you would bless everyone that is a part of this movement. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. And bring those love blankets to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shelley.